I'm waiting for this interview thing to come on, and I was thinking a lot. And I'm actually beside myself because I've been thinking a lot about, well, my previous relationships, but also like my ex. And I was thinking about astrology, and I was thinking like, really, he was so bothered by my fame or going into fame, you know. I actually realized that's a common thing amongst people. They don't want the other person to become famous. I think even Ariana Grande went through something like that recently. Yeah, you really have to look at the synastry of people's charts before you get with them, you know. And I really didn't have enough experience. I didn't understand that and you know, it can be affected like that. But even our moons were opposite. You know, his moon was in the 3rd and mine was in the 10th. So yeah, like a lot of our planets were opposite. It's not really good, because now each person is trying to take each other out of their own space to accommodate the other person. And that's exactly what almost happened. He really didn't want me to be famous, although he wasn't really too much forward with it, because a lot of his planets were in the deer, so like between 3rd and 4th house. So yeah, I noticed that it causes a lot of clashes. Yeah, which makes sense. So you want to find people with like a complementary planets and signs as you, because that's gonna kind of like mean that their nature is a bit like your nature in the way that it's similar. So you could both go along the similar stream of life. You wouldn't be juxtaposition to each other, juxtaposing. Yeah, that's really what I was thinking about. I'm really bored out my mind, man. It's almost 4 in the morning. I have to be on this interview. It's just a pain in the ass. But you know, it's the life. It's what it is. You know, it's do this or do nothing. Really, like in the station that I am right now, it's really, I am kind of trapped. You know, that's another thing too with like men. They try to, well, it's mostly men, because men usually have the money or whatever, or the status, or, well, that's what society tries to, you know, preach to us. Anyway, yeah, he tried to paint a dream. He tried to paint the dream, you know, that salvation was gonna get out of this trap. Whatever, that's still pretty sore. Even after 3 months, still pretty sore. Trying to get over that. I'm trying to come to terms with that. It hasn't been easy, really, because sometimes I feel really well. I can cope. I'm like, fuck you. Then other times I'm just a mess, pretty much. Like, and I start dropping into that, I wouldn't say depression, I would say, you know, nostalgia. And then thinking like, oh, you know, what if things were different, you know? That's not really a good way to go. That's just slipping towards a dark path at that point. So you would have said this to me when I was 13, 14, and I would have been like, you're crazy. I'm not gonna get out of this whatever feeling. I was very much stuck on people. Now, like, I'll be 40 soon, and I'm thinking I'm tired of all this shit. Being stuck on people. Life is really too short to be stuck on somebody. You gotta move on at that point. Yeah. I just can't believe, like, the gaslighting and shit. The gaslighting, you know? Like, I freaking witnessed that shit firsthand. Like, I experienced gaslighting before, but it was more blurry, you know? It was confusing, but this one, like, he straight up tried to challenge my reality of shit. Even though we both knew, you know, that it was the opposite, whatever happened. And I think probably something was really wrong with him. In retrospect. Do I still love him? Yeah, I still do, but it's not gonna work. I had a rash on my back for 2 years. I was with him. I was so stressed, and now it's all gone. The whole rash is gone. It's completely clear, and I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That my body was stressed like that's the point I was getting rashes. You know? Rashes, ulcers, everything is pretty much gone now. It's crazy. It's crazy that a relationship could do that to someone. And I can think about all the other people that are going through this right now and probably dying. Probably, like, maybe that's why people get cancer sometimes, because they're so stressed out. You know, their family or whoever, the relationship stressed them out so bad, their body's like screaming for help. You know, I can think about a lot of the ailments in the world. So it's like nutrition is probably one of them. It's a big one. And then just relationships, stress or work stress is another one. You know, that's the reason why I sort of stopped working for people too, because it was to the point that I started getting psychosomatic ailments. You know, once I worked in the call center, and this one supervisor, she was brand new, but she acted like she'd been there forever. She was micromanaging me to the point that my whole jaw started hurting, bro. All of this. And I thought I had wisdom teeth. I was like, it's probably my wisdom teeth. I go to the dentist. I find out I have no wisdom teeth. They can't figure out what the hell is wrong with me. I'm like, this fucking bitch is fucking stressing me out. I need to leave. I left and I went into school. I just straight up left. I didn't even say shit. That's me. You stress me out, you a fucking bitch. I'm gone. That's that Enneagram 9 shit. Like, I'm not even gonna stay there and deal with it. You know? I'm just not. You know, I have sun in the 6th house, so I guess. Sun in the 6th house and moon in the 10th. So you already know that shit is stress already. I'm gonna be encountering these boss bitches. You know, working for myself is not fun, but you know, you don't make as much money, but I'd rather do that than deal with the tomfoolery of the workplace and all the crap that comes with it. And most of the time, you're trying to fit into a culture that's not really a culture. You know, the work culture. Like, yeah, you can only adapt but so much. You know, we all have our innate natures. You know, if it doesn't mix, it doesn't mix. You gotta find some place where you do mix. Because that's gonna give you better results. The same thing with everything. I think astrology is a pretty good tool if you know enough. You know, if you don't, and you're kind of like, you dabble and stuff, but you don't know everything, you're gonna miss a lot of shit. And it's not really gonna be helpful to you. I'm just looking at the time here. Yeah, but no, it's better than going through life blind. You know, because the more you know yourself, the more you can make your circumstances, your situations the way it is to, like, take advantage. You know, at least you can try, right? To the best of your ability. You don't have to live trying to adapt to other people so much. You can come to it where, like, you could try to attract situations that are more cohesive to your nature, right? So it is 4 o'clock. Okay, T minus 10, and I have to get on. Yes, I thought about that. I guess, you know, my meditation's been helping me a bit because I've been starting to see things, you know, and I do be wanting to talk about them, but then it's like, I feel like lazy or tired. It happens a lot. Like, I really, I put things off way too much. To the point that it's detrimental, or almost detrimental, and I have to hop on it. Yeah. So I guess people be asking me about my lifestyle a lot, you know, but I feel pretty peaceful. Since I ultimately got ghosted, I feel pretty peaceful. Minus, like, you know, the shit, you know, bills and stuff and whatnot. Well, Lola, what you doing? She's trying to get out. You can't come back in. You can't come back in once you get out. I don't know, man. Like, I'm going through this shit like y'all going through this shit. It's all you know. And I guess minus the bills and the shit going on in this fucking world, like the loan shit. Which, that shit was a scam, because it's like, you really don't need a degree. You don't need a degree to go and do the shit you need to do. Like, I feel like that's a false narrative. Like, you don't really need a degree, you know, most times, because the degree doesn't even matter. It's your experience that matters. So if you could find somebody you know to give you that experience in the field you want, you're ahead more than people that have a degree and are just going into it. It's all a fucking scam. And I know, because I went to Mercy College. That shit's a fucking scam. I'm sorry. Like, you know? And it's just like pomp and elitism, you know? And it's just not just the staff, it's the students, you know? You have these youngins, they come in there and they think they're hot shit because they're going to school. Like, I don't know when the hell that became a trend, because it's not a good trend, you know? Like, well, I don't have a master's degree and you only have a bachelor's degree. Someone actually told me this shit. And I'm like, but you still will live with your mama. I don't live with my mama, you know? So who's ahead? And we're the same fucking age, and you a guy, and you live with your mama, okay? And you're almost 40 and you live with your mama, okay? And you have a master's degree and you have no job and you don't plan to get a job, you know? You just plan to just write your own books. You could write your own books without going to school. You could be a better writer. You know, there's a lot of resources online and shit. And two, You can open up your own business without having ever stepped into a school. The school doesn't teach you shit. The school didn't even teach me taxes. It's funny. They try to teach me accounting, but most of that shit you don't even use in a small business. You use that shit in a bigger business, you know? And I noticed too, like, even if you're not taking an accounting major, that's all people want is an accountant. So they'll try to stick you there. They'll tell you it's for something else, your job, and you go there and they're trying to stick you into accounting. And I'm like, oh fucking hell no, you're not gonna make me do this shit all day. I am not good at math. Okay, like that's been a pain in my ass for a long time. I think a lot of creative people go through that. It's just like that part of their brain that, you know, it's kind of like how logical people tend to not be socially effective sometimes. Like, they don't have social affect. It's kind of like that with creative people and like logical stuff like math and whatever. Science, it's harder, you know, because we're thinking on a whole other plane than just the numbers on the paper. It's different, you know. It's totally, your brain's wired differently. So if you're going into that and you're creative, that's not gonna work. You're better off just working on your own, you know, getting your word out there, promoting yourself, and then getting someone else to do that for you, that paperwork. But be careful, because they can also be robbers. So you need to hire someone to do the paperwork, the record keeping, and then you need to hire someone else to double check that, and from somewhere else entirely. Like, make sure they don't know each other and double verify, because if not, you're probably gonna get screwed over, because a lot of businesses have closed down because the accountant screwed them over. It's kind of funny. This is the type of shit I think about every day. Yeah, so I wanted to end that other video. Yeah, I got a phone call and then I had to get in the interview, which was a fucking freak show, by the way. Like, it turned out to not be so good. But yeah, yeah, that's just some of my experience and thoughts and whatever. And it's raining. Like, how? Let me see. Some of my flowers are dead. Yeah. And then Popo's here looking. Look, he was over here being Batman earlier. So yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I was rambling. Whatever. It kind of helped. But, yeah, that's it. Bye.